Good morning, traders. This is Christian from Hertz Tribeca Trade Group with your Monday morning rundown. So I like to do this video in the beginning of the week, just to kind of look at the main events for the week, and then look at value areas. So in value areas, we have two new things this week. We always have a new value area for the week, but it's also the beginning of October, so you have a new value area for the month of October. So I'm going to go over a couple things here. First, I'm going to just start with economics, and we do have some things out this morning. We have the ISM numbers, the ISM manufacturing prices paid, new orders. Those all come out a half hour after the open. So this is one of those events that could move the market a little bit in the morning, depending if it's different than expectations. It looks like they're looking for a pretty high number, 58.1. Just looking forward through the week, we have durable goods. We have the August final numbers, and I think the main data point for the week is payrolls. So it'll be the first Friday of the month where we do get the change in non-farm payrolls, private payrolls. That all comes employment data on Friday. In terms of overnight markets, China's closed for the week, so we're going to see some markets. Of course, a couple different markets over there closed for the whole week. So Japan was up overnight. You could see there is some green in terms of European markets. The DAX is up 25 basis points. The FTSE's also up. Euro stocks are flat. Looks like Spain is down. It looks like they've got some things going on, some protests, some things going on with the police over there as well. So they're down decently over there, but I don't think that's really going to affect us that much. So let's just take a look at the new value area for September, for October. So for S&P, your new support will be 2510. So we're opening up the month above value for S&P futures. 2510 is your support. We're also above the short dated moving averages as well after last week's big run up. If we move to the smaller time frame, if we look to the 1 hour, we're going to start the week above value there as well. So 2507. So we've got a decent air pocket down to 2507. The first, and when we usually start the month this way, if we're decently above the value area, what you want to pay attention to more is the short-term moving averages, which you could see we're above the yellow line, which is my 5-period exponential moving average. The blue line is the 20. We're above most of those. If we do get a dip, the first thing I would look at is that 20-period moving average, but we're above everything there. So I think that's going to be the same for the 5-minute time frame as well, which will be today's value area. Again, the 1 hour, which I just had up, is for the week. 2516 is your first level of support. Moving over to the NASDAQ, and again, I'll look at NASDAQ futures. Let's start with the daily chart. This one's a little bit different. Just like we talked about when I shot last week's video, the one that looked a little bit off was NASDAQ. And they did come on strong towards the end of the week, but Q's actually underperformed. They were actually right in line with SPY. This is from my weekend newsletter. Small caps were really where the strength was last week, but Qs were right in line with SPY, up a little bit under 1%. So this one, we've got resistance ahead of us. We've got 6006 in NASDAQ. If you want to look at the Q, I know most people will look at the Qs. Basically 146.15. Again, you're not going to see the pre-market activity on Thinkorswim, so that's why I like to look at the Qs. But sorry, why I like to look at NASDAQ futures. But 146, it looks like it's moving around a little bit. 146.30 is the top of value. 144.14 is your support. So we're starting we're starting the week right inside value for tech, for Qs. So notice this also did not have a 52-week high on Friday, where IWM and SPY did. So there's still a little bit more work, or a little bit where we could get to before we hit some resistance. So again, I would watch that 146.30 for the Qs. Let me just move over to NASDAQ, because we'll be able to see a little bit different levels, of course, because we can see the pre-market activity. 59.49 is your support. So this does look similar for the week as When I jump over to this 1 hour time frame, this does look the same on this time frame as the S&P. Were above value for both of those, pretty decently above value. Let's move over because this is really not going to come into play unless we get a sharp sell-off. That's 5949, but again, we're above the short-term moving averages. On the 5-minute bar, here's a closer level to watch. You could see that we are up 20 basis points in Nasdaq going into the open on Monday. 5985 is basically your support for the day. 5985 and a half. All right, so let's go over to small caps, and I'll look at IWM. And I don't have the percentage changes on this one because Thinkorswim doesn't provide it. But again, looking at the daily chart, a couple things to notice. Just like S&P, we're going to start the month of October above value on the daily chart. 146.77 is your support. Really, what stands out to me here is how overbought we are on the RSI. So I actually did put on a trade on this last week in the trading room, kind of fading the IWM at this point, selling out of the money call spreads. Why did I do that? Because the RSI is usually a pretty good indicator for the major indices as well as sectors. Normally, we don't really stay overbought for that long in the major indices. You can see the last time that we were overbought was all the way back in the election time. So right now the RSI is an 82. Keep in mind the RSI anything above 70 is typically known as overbought. So we are way overbought in small caps. So I would be mindful of that, how overbought we got into towards the end of last week. So a little bit of a pullback. You have your support at 146.77. Let's just go to the hour. 1 hour, we're a little bit above there, so a little bit firmer of a level. 147.94 is your support. Again, that's on the 1 hour. Again, check out how big the value area is for this week. Why is it that large? Because value areas are always based on the previous periods, which is last week. So on the 1 hour, again, that's last week's value area. Again, a really large value area because of the range and the outperformance that you saw in small caps. And then if we look at the 5-minute, again, even a closer level to watch, 148.26. And then in terms of resistance, basically the only thing you have to go by for here is Friday's high. So I would watch Friday's high for a further breakout, and then first watch 148.26, a little bit lower if that breaks, 147.94, and then and then further 146.85. All right, so that's a quick Monday morning breakdown using the value areas. Again, two things to watch here. I always do this Monday morning video because you have a new value area for the week, which is a given, but I always will shoot the video too when we have a new month. So we've got the new month of value areas and a whole new set of levels to watch for the month. All right, so thanks for watching today's video. I will talk about single stocks in the pre-open period, pre-market rundown, which I start in 20 minutes in the Tribeca Trade Room. So if you want to be a part of that, check us out, tribecatradegroup.com. You can get half off the first month, and there we will go into all the movers, all the individual stocks and setups for the day. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Have a great week.